This is the Garnish molding that goes on top of the windshield on the Suzuki Jeep, and I got mine was cracked here. I repaired it, but I also used some Gorilla Tape on the top, the gasket that fits in here to hold it tight. So it's pretty good. It's pretty leak free, but I've decided to change it. I might be getting a hardtop for this thing anyway. But if you order these, this is actually an OEM Suzuki part, Garnish kit. It's brand new. It's if you probably can't see it there, but that's a genuine Suzuki part. What it does is it goes up here across the roof on the top, where the top fits in here, and that is just typical leak. It doesn't leak when it's new, because it seals up nice and tight. But because I had this thing out in a lot of rain before, and it's been raining a lot. It has been raining a lot today, so we're going to get this thing in here while we got a break in the weather. Now again, this is a genuine Suzuki part. You actually want to get a new one versus a used one, because if you get a used one, you're going to have the same stupid problem again. I don't know if you can see how tight that is, but it comes with this tape, two-sided tape. So in other words, underneath this, there won't be water penetration, because between the window frame and this itself, there won't be water penetration. It comes with new screws, and mine was sealed up pretty good because I put something underneath the this anyway. And you see this. So if you don't replace this, and say for instance you want to kind of hold your top on there better, I use Gorilla Tape over this, so to make that a little bit thicker, so it sticks in here better. So now we're going to take this out right now though. Okay, what I did was I used some rust killing primer after I chemically cleaned up on the top here of the windshield, which is this. Reason being is by these holes there's a little bit of rust starting, and well, that's it'll be sealed up when I put the gasket over it. But after I put the gasket on here and put the trim on it, I'm going to put some rubberized undercoating right across the edge, so the water doesn't infiltrate between the Garnish molding and the top. Now I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to work this if I make a hardtop for it, but for now this should pretty much seal up the elements very well. So anyway, make sure you take your time and be chemically clean about it, because this gasket up here, this is where all the water just comes flying through, and if it's not sealed good, you're going to get wet. Okay, after that rust killing primer was thoroughly dried, that's just an extra step because you probably won't get any water under this anyway. The gasket gets applied on here, and it's got the little holes that are for where the screws go. So that sticks on here, and it's kind of like a thin foam. So if this is clean, it should be nice and level. The other thing is, if you don't have this, you could probably use some RTV silicone. I wouldn't recommend using glue, because you'll never get that piece off again if you have to take it off the Garnish. I'd probably use RTV silicone. It'd probably be pretty good to use. Yeah, I don't know how that would be perfect, but it'd be best if you can get this gasket. That's one reason to get something that's from the factory, because I've been seeing that these used ones on this piece is almost as much as a freaking brand new one. You might as well get a brand new one. Like it, make it do it right. Okay, the molding's up there. You can see it's up there really solid. I put these screws on here loose first, then I tighten them down once they're all lined up. I know they're lined up, then I tighten them down, and I can start putting the top down. And actually there's going to be one little final extra step, because I want this as waterproof as possible. And I'm probably going to go over something later where I want to make like a little bit of a roof skeleton that goes underneath this with some 1-inch foam with some steel bracing. That's going to provide extra insulation for in the winter if I don't get a hardtop, so at least it'll be warm. And even though I'm in Florida, if you go up in the cold areas, that should work pretty well. Okay, the other thing I want to do, I know some people will say this is not, don't do this or something because it's not, you know, pretty or something. Well, I'm going to put this rubberized undercoating across the top edge, right where, you know, even with the top on it, right across there. And the reason I want to do that is because I don't want, you know, stuff to get in there where it can freaking start to rust between, you know, this edge of metal and here. It doesn't really rust that easy, but still. So and I get down there on the other side and just a light coat, just something so, you know, it's on there. Since I already chemically cleaned it, that undercoating is going to get up in there. This is a Jeep, man, and actually if it was a car I don't give a shit as long as it don't rust. Now I'll keep the old Garnish because actually I fixed it. It wasn't too bad, but I figured I'd replace it because, yeah, see that right there? There's a crack right there. I mean, you could epoxy it, but it'll crack someplace else. I figured I'd replace it, but I'm going to keep the old one anyway. And it came with new screws, but I'm going to keep the old screws and stuff. So now this thing's going to go back inside in there, in that thing. So, oh, next thing to do is to back it up into the little makeshift garage thing here. So, just making sure all my lights work, which they do. They do. So, and that's my everything on this Jeep works, man, which is kind of cool. It's old, but it works. Here it is. It's that spot, so we're good. All right. So anyway, it's back in its place right here, and I just keep going on it. You know, the weather's been sucking really bad. It's not raining now, but it's extremely hot and humid. No wind, but doing stuff any hours I get. So it's one little piece done, and I'll just keep uploading like what I do, because this is going to be a channel on constructive things mostly versus you know, giddy rumors. We'll try to avoid that type of stuff.